This was the iPhone in 2007, and this is the iPhone in 2024. No one could have imagined that this device would evolve into what it is today. But over the years, iOS, the software that powers these Apple devices, has grown dramatically. Each year I see this software introducing new features, and not only do we see these features in smartphones, but also in watches, MacBooks, TVs, and countless other gadgets. I am quite fascinated by this innovation. I remember the first time I held an iPhone. I really loved it. Its smooth screen, eye-catching interface, these were game changers for me. But over the years, I have also realized something that Apple might not want you to notice. While Apple is striving to make our lives easier, it's also finding ways to keep users within the Apple ecosystem. But while we have been busy enjoying the convenience, this is something that most users don't think about. Let's understand this better in this video. In 2007, this was the year of birth for the iPhone. The first iPhone was called iPhone OS. It was hyped just because it replaced physical button mobile phones, and for the first time a touch screen was introduced. It had a few basic apps like Safari, a web browser for iOS, and an email app. It didn't even have an app store and no third-party apps, meaning there was no option for users to customize their iPhones. This shows how Apple wanted to gain control over their users. Many big tech companies try to gain control, and Apple has done it successfully. That's why it's most successful tech company with a market value of 3.44 trillion US dollar. Only Nvidia is close to it with 3 trillion USD. But the game changed with the advent of iOS 2 in 2008 because it was introduced with the inclusion of App Store. This gave users access to millions of apps ranging from gaming to productivity. Other important features were also notable, like the ability to take screenshots by clicking the home and power buttons simultaneously, the ability to save pictures from Safari to photos, and the ability to switch between Wi-Fi and airplane mode. Although the release of App Store gives users a little more control, but how could Apple let that happen without its own benefits? Apple took a 30% cut from every app sale, and only apps approved by Apple made it to the market. This gave Apple immense control over what you could install. They argued that this was to protect the App Store from fraudulent apps, but undeniably, it has made Apple more dominant among tech giants. With the advent of iOS 3, copy-paste features was introduced. Spotlight search, which made finding content easier on your iPhone, had also emerged. With every of these features, users became more dependent on Apple services and harder it became to leave the Apple ecosystem. Multitasking was included in iOS 4 so that you can switch from one app to other without losing progress. FaceTime, which was a video telephony app, had also emerged. These new features, although were exciting, but required more processing power, and older iPhones become slower with each update. At that time, Apple was also accused of intentionally slowing down older devices, but this was something that couldn't be proved later. Siri. This is the feature that is the backbone of iOS. However, iPhone got its backbone on its fifth update in 2011. iMessage was a great addition, but one of the flaws were these features only run on Apple phones. As users become hooked into iPhone, it wasn't easy for them to switch into Android. iOS 6 introduced Apple Maps, which replaced Google Maps, announcing Apple's complete independence from third-party apps. Apple Maps was a flop initially due to its lack of accuracy, but now it's an accurate app for tracking maps. iOS 7 came with complete redesign. 3D-like icons were replaced and these flat icons were introduced. You can see the difference. It was visually stunning and fresh. These new features were also so hooking that users could not make themselves out of Apple ecosystem. In other words, more features means more control on users. From 2014 to 2018, 4 iOS versions were launched, and these versions focused mainly on continuity and health kit. Health app tracked users' health and fitness, giving them more convenience. One thing you would notice when you use all these Apple devices together, it nudges you to buy other Apple devices as these all are interlinked. And in the background, this question was arising that how much of your personal data and health was Apple collecting. Apple responded to these questions by giving users some control with the advent of iOS 13, which involved dark mode, which made users control over their interface. Location sharing and tracking were also notable, but something against Apple was proved and Apple was fined 25 million euros as it was slowing down batteries on older devices. That highlighted how Apple manipulated users to switch to new iPhone models. And now we have iOS 18. Apple has deeply integrated AI, with Siri becoming more initiative, learning your habits and making personalized suggestions. New health features are tracking everything from mental wellness to nutrition, offering a full suite of health tools within the Apple ecosystem. But all these features came at a cost. Apple AI driven features require more access to your personal data. Our preferences, health states, and daily habits are all stored and analyzed. And while Apple promises privacy, the deeper question remains how much control do we really have over our own data in a world where Apple holds the keys to everything? And this was the evolution of iOS, filled with groundbreaking features and revolution. If you want to learn about the operating system which is better than Windows and Mac, just watch this video. Make sure to subscribe the channel so that we can keep bringing videos like this. Thank you.